Hello, everybody. Um, I wanted to do another reading for Nicole Kessinger and her part, but also I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit of, the psychology of it. So I wanted to read a few things that I found relating to this case, and they can explain a few things. Okay. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is her moon is in strong sextile with Saturn. There's likely to be caution and reserved in your makeup, along with a good sense of the practicalities of life. This aspect of a deepening and concentrating in the expression of your feelings. You may be extremely sensitive. You may have a strict upbringing, have had a strict upbringing. The parental figures in your life, especially your mother, you may have been experienced as rejecting or uncaring. You may experience some difficulties in your relationship to the feminine. You may also benefit from relationships with powerful figures, symbolic of the powerful feelings that that need fuller expressions in your own nature. The lesson for you here is to understand the value of the true roots of your being and more fully and deeply leading to a better sense of security and greater self-acceptance, okay? So that I'm going to touch on these and how they relate after I read them, okay? The moon in strong sextile with Uranus. This aspect gives an unique individual with an energetic personality, with a strong sense of intuition, novelty excites you. You like to explore new horizons. You enjoy meeting people and having an enthusiasm which is appealing. Your only early home life was probably very stimulating and challenging. You may be interested in studying occult realms of thought. You may be able to benefit from fundamental transformations of identity in your life and are quickly to take advantage of new opportunities. You are very original and individualistic and may have difficulties in settling down with a steady partner. You can benefit from learning to balance your needs for security with your urge for freedom and experimentation. Okay? The next one that was important was the moon in strong trine with Chiron. With this aspect here, there are difficulties indicated with relating to the feminine. Either significant female presence in your life or else including your own feminine side. This would be true and different in a sense in either a man or woman's chart. Of course, the early model for the feminine is mother, and it is likely that you have a deep, intense relationship with your mother, which may have been productive of much wisdom. There also may have been emotional scars from the very intensity of your experience. These experiences may be so painful that they become suppressed from the consciousness, buried deep in your psyche. In your adult life, it is important to move past any resentment you feel. I lost my place, hang on. Caused by early wounding in your relationship with the female part or nurturing influence of your own nature, so that you can begin to move into a more conscious, um, state of being, and be compassionate and reconcile with the walled off parts of yourself. Once you've begun to make conscious any pain and alienation you may have felt surrounding events from the long buried past, you can begin to truly help others as well as yourself. A creative side of your nature may emerge like a butterfly out of an outgrown past, okay? The next one is moon in strong sextile with midheaven. This aspect gives an emotionally sensitive personality who is nurturing and caring. You may tend to be dependent on others for your own feelings of self-worth, so it may be important to you for others to look up to you. You do well in a business setting, having a dramatic presence that gives you natural abilities to influence others, and an attitude of caring that makes you easy to get along with. You set priorities based on people rather than strictly on profits. Your career may also be quite changeable. Okay. This next one is Mars in strong conjunction with her ascendant. This conjunction gives an active, outgoing, and self confident personality. You are daring and have great physical vitality and stamina. You are likely to possess a wiry, wiry and spare physique. You are also probably athletic and hardworking, perhaps argumentative, and you can definitely hold your own in a dispute. You may be so independent that you seem not to care for the opinions of anyone else. Your confidence, independence, and willpower inspires others, but you should beware of abrasive behaviors towards them, such as bragging or pushing yourself too much. You should instead try for a much needed physical activity as an outlet for your abundant energy. Saturn in strong conjunction with her midheaven. You are persistent and thorough. You may be careful or calculating in your dealings with others. This conjunction gives an ambitious and clear minded individual with a strong sense of responsibility. You have a deep urge for mastery and achievement and are likely to find a position of authority and responsibility in your professional life. You're likely to have had problems with finding your identity independent of parental figures, so that in your adult life you may operate out of a subconscious fear that if you do not conquer the world first, then it can conquer you instead. There, through your determination and your tremendous drive to achieve, you are likely to succeed in affairs of this world. Okay, so the next one is Mercury in square with Mars. This aspect greatly influences your mental energies, gives you a personality that is intelligent, ambitious, and aggressive. You can be opinionated and perhaps quarrelsome and argumentative, and you may be nervous or ill tempered. You are likely to jump to conclusions. You have a sharp tongue and ready wit, and you may tend to find fault with other people or hurt their feelings by being unnecessarily outspoken. You are determined and intelligent and will go far in life, especially when you have learned the value of the opinions of others. Okay? The next one is going to be Mars in square with Saturn, and this makes for a reserved or controlling person and may even be cruel or manipulating at times. This aspect is a deepening concentration or blockage in self confidence and self expression. The purposeful articulation of your will may be inhibited by the subconscious fears preventing action, and you may appear shy, stiff, or awkward, or perhaps self effacing. Or you may overcompensate by attempting to strongly assert yourself or to seize control of situations. In extreme situations, you may find yourself expressing actual cruelty by the violent imposition of your will or by mental manipulation. Or you may experience it from others. In a man's chart, there may be symptoms of an exaggerated maleness, such as emotional domination or recklessness. You possess a strong desire for freedom of expression that does not easily find its realization. Your lesson is in striving to overcome your fears of self expression and thus come to a better understanding of yourself and others. Okay, so that's all of the ones that I saved to talk about today. But I wanted to talk about how those make the whole situation to me just kind of line everything up. Let's start with, first of all, her comments about to the detective about her telling Chris Watts to read on what divorce does to kids, what they'll be going through so that he knows and he can prepare himself and all that. I believe that she was doing that to try and convince him that he would save his children a lot of suffering, because this is all that they're going to have to go through, and then they're going to end up being like me, or they're going to end up down this path of life. And do you really have the money? Do you really want the responsibilities? her comments about Bella and Celeste being the similar ages to her and her sister. Okay. This is probably one of the more important aspects, I would say, of it, because there's two things here. Bella had the most injuries. Everybody knows this. Well, when you listen to what we've listened to, and she used them, Shanann was her mother, Bella was her, Cece was her little sister. So Bella would, of course, have the most injuries because that was her killing herself, killing the old wounded her as an attempt to heal herself. Her major disdain for Shanann in general. She wouldn't say her name. It's very likely that she projected onto Shanann the sins of her mother. And Chris did the same. Because I think that if I were to look in his chart, he would also have issues with his mother figure in his life. That would explain why they were so angry at her. He was so angry. She was so angry. They literally, took the sins of other people and projected them onto her. She projected every bad thing that happened to her on Bella, which explains, oh my God, it's like to me, it's an oh my God moment. It explains to me why Bella was so injured. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that this sense of mental capacity that she had. She definitely did manipulate him, and I can see it here, but I think he manipulated her too. I think that it is possible that he painted a kind of a different picture of Shanann. And the different picture of Shanann was exactly what she was looking for. I feel like her time on eHarmony was her shopping for the perfect family to annihilate. I believe that it was her agenda, wholeheartedly. I believe that Chris was her father. I believe that Shanann was her mother. Bella was her, and Celeste was her little sister. And she was trying to heal. She was trying to take off the blocks, take the suffering away. She was hoping that this would put everything into balance. It would balance herself and her life, and it would help her be emotionally sound again, she's like, she presented herself as a victim. Her and Chris, interestingly enough, were very similar. They were probably soulmates, to be honest with you. And it's because they were soulmates in the sixth sense of the word. They were evil soulmates, I guess you could say. He manipulated in a coverted type way where he was the victim. He was always in the middle having to fix it because, he's the reason that Shanann and his mother even had issues. He went to Shanann about something that his mother said, in disdain that she felt in the privacy. It didn't have to be told to Shanann. It was told to Shanann to create a rift. He'd always been the middle guy. He'd keep these people fighting so that he could be like the hero, and he had never had to take any fall. He was always looked at as a victim from Shanann and from his family. So they both play that role. It's interesting as a couple, though. Interesting as a couple to be both the blamers, blaming other people, So, like, everything was Shanann's fault. Everything that he did was, well, this is what Shanann did to cause me to act like this, so it's because she's so awful. And, I mean, I don't believe that, he manipulated her. You know, at certain points, you know, I kind of, like, tussled with it's possible that he manipulated her into doing it. But I think the only thing that he manipulated her on is the manipulations that he was, you know, accustomed to using. He, you know, and this is not to say, he is very dark too. You can't illuminate some darkness in someone that does not exist. You cannot manipulate someone to do something that they weren't capable of doing before. Do you get what I mean? You know, I know that you can be hypnotized, yeah, but they had a capacity to do that. Maybe they wouldn't have done that, and they didn't feel that way about the situation. But you can manipulate their feelings, and even, like when he would fall asleep, like talking about the falling asleep, well, you know, you can listen to those hypnosis tapes and stuff like that, and you see how they use techniques. Well, you know, Nicole Kessinger had mentioned being in the military at one time or working in some aspect of the military. I think that she learned some manipulation skills. You know, the psychology of it. You know, if you know psychology and you understand someone, you can manipulate them. Like, I know Nicole Kessinger, not a lot of our things, but we were born in the same year, only like a month apart. And a few of our things are the same. And I turned 32. And I remember when I turned 30, I was, you know, freaking out about the fact that I hadn't been married at this point. You know, I hadn't gotten married. I have no kids yet. I still have no kids yet, but I had no kids, so I was kind of freaking out a little bit. But I got married like a month before my 30th birthday. I've been married for almost 2 years now. I went about it the right way, but I can see being in that and, you know, what has been, she's already kind of leaned the darker way. Like, she didn't let her past experiences that were terrible make her want to spread goodness, you know, never want to cause that pain for anybody else, you know. That is something that I'm very passionate about. I went through some things, not with my mother. My mother was very domineering, though, so there is that. But I went through some things in my childhood that could have shaped me to be different. I could have went down a very negative, like, sex filled, you know, whorish type path, you know, and become very manipulative and evil. I could have became evil, but, you know, I took those experiences and that feeling, and for me personally, I feel one of the most evil acts in this world is something that you have experienced, like grief that you have felt. You know what it feels like, and you choose to actively do that and harm someone else in that manner. To me, there is nothing more evil than that act, because you didn't have to empathize. You felt it, and you know how terrible it was, and you know how much it affected you, and you still brought yourself to do that with all that knowledge. And that, to me, is the most evilest of things. It is not rational at all But she hates herself, and that is the proof is in Bella's death, and Bella's death being so much worse. She definitely killed Bella. I, you know, I can't, this is just my opinion. I can't say for fact, obviously, because she's not convicted. She's innocent until proven guilty. I don't want to get any trouble or anything. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes, but it is very likely, in my opinion, that her hands killed Bella and Celeste. And it is very much in my assessment of her, the psychology of her, just her. She was the mastermind. She seeked out someone that had kids close to her age, that had a dominating woman figure. And the man, I don't know if the man was so important. Like, I think that she had issues with her dad as well, which you can tell. I know that she does have an issue with him because when he's there with her at the in the interrogation or whatever they want to call that, he goes to use the bathroom, and when he leaves the room, she kind of gets upbeat, she's talking a little perky, and as soon as he walks back in, it's sullen, compliant. So, I mean, you obviously see where those dynamics are. She blamed her mother for every issue that she encountered for whatever reason. And when she killed Shanann, she killed her, or I don't know if she killed her physically. I don't know, kind of teetering between that, but I definitely think that Bella, for sure, and I've always felt that way. For some reason, Bella has always been the one that stood out to me. I want to say it like this, covert narcissists, whatever people think, or not. A person is the same to the core, okay? He was a coward in every sense of the word. I know that the likelihood that he killed Shanann is probably he did. He was a coward, and he's responsible, and I don't want anybody to think that what I'm saying is trying to vindicate him or anything. He is responsible. He is where he deserves to be. And, when he wises up, or, whenever, she goes, whenever she gets, goes down for her role, because I don't know, I just feel justice will come. It's coming for her. She did something that was so selfish, and him too, because while she might have manipulated how he thought, I think that she made him see Shanann as his mother. Because she talked a lot, she figured out, got him to tell, I know I'm pointing at this jewel for no reason, this gem, she got him to tell her about his past, I'm sure, and she dug into it. She figured out the psychology of Chris Watson. She used that, and, with the sleep deprivation, probably with the tea to kind of, that's used in hypnosis. It can be used in earth magic. She used a little bit of magic, evil magic, black magic. Nothing good about that. She used that, and probably hypnosis, maybe repeating things over and over and over while he was sleeping, is one way that it can be done. But she convinced him that Shanann was his mother, and this was all, these were all her evil qualities. This is what she did. Like, I don't even think that Shanann was the reason for the financial troubles. I think that she did spend, she liked nice things, and she probably was a little bit materialistic, but she also is a Capricorn. I'm married to a Capricorn. Actually, funny enough, guys, this is really funny. I'm a Taurus. My husband is a Capricorn. Um, Chris Watts and Shanann. Shanann was a Capricorn, and Chris Watts was a Taurus. There's a little bit of a difference. Chris Watts has a Gemini. I think he's a Gemini more so because he's teetering right on the teeter-totter, and he seems more like a twin than a Taurus anyway. But the relationships between Tauruses and Capricorns are lifelong relationships. They get along very well. They complement each other very, very well. So, I do think that he was more of a Gemini. I think that he was probably either in a Gemini, on the cusp of a Gemini moon or a Gemini sun, or his birth chart was dominated by Gemini energy, because I definitely feel Gemini from him all the way. But just given her sign and how practical and logical and they want to get the bills paid first. They're very strict on that. They are materialistic. They like nice things, but they're very strict in maintaining the basic necessities of life. And her home was very important to her. And, the truth is, it was a mask that she put on social media, because everybody does, especially for the business that she was in. She had to fake happiness every day. They don't feel, I'm ready to go every day because of Thrive. They may feel it a little, but they ain't that damn happy because of no Thrive. And we all know that. It's all a fake to sell a product. That's what she was doing, selling a product, and well, because she did fake it well. But she was very critical of Shanann, and that fed off into him. And she knew that she played off of the fact that his mother hated Shanann. His mother hated Shanann because Shanann reminded her of herself. I don't think that Cindy is just evil. I don't think that she is evil. I think that she is narcissistic. But she has a husband like Chris, okay? He is making, being the middle dude. The guy that, I had an issue with mom. Let's go talk about mom over here. They always have to have like a common enemy. He's the make it better, or whatever you want to call it. And that's exactly the role that Chris took upon. And his mother was the more dominant voice and the more emotional. And, it does make you feel crazy. If you're with someone who is like, kind of like silently, mistily, causes trouble, it's really kind of sometimes fucks with your head, it really does. But hang on just a second, guys. But looking into the birth chart of Nicole Kessinger and the psychology angle of it, I mean, it was the melting pot. She found the perfect victim. Like, you remember the enthusiasm she had for, this is the spot, this is the spot. This was the man, this is the family. You know how to say it. This is the family. This is the spot. And she didn't want to suffer anymore. She is the atypical victim who doesn't realize that she is the only cause of her undoing. She may have initially been a victim, and she may have been a victim in her life, but she uses those instances to beat people over the head with and to instill in them that everything that they do, she's the victim, she's the victim. She's the fragile little angel. And that's just, what it is. I listen to some of these people talk about Shanann. And I'm talking about like this true crime justice thing. I guess it's like a Miss Mensa replacement page or something. I don't know what it is, but they take everything. I'm talking about if Shanann sneezed, basically. That is the reason why Christopher was held hostage, or something, just, Shanann was evil. No matter what Shanann did for these people, it was either to show that she was controlling, that she was horrible, that she targeted him, she went after him. Like, it's almost like she's talking about Nicole Kessinger, really, but putting the name Shanann on it, like pretending like it's Shanann. But I don't. Shanann was a woman, a woman's woman, really. She was a great mother. From all accounts that I've seen, they think that she had Munchausen by proxy. I do not. I think that she was a very concerned mother, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if these babies had issues, then these babies had issues, Like, who wants to be at the hospital? I mean, I know that there's some women that do have Munchausen, but it goes way, like, it extends more than what they're talking about, it's just, I don't know. I didn't see any signs that the children had any bad feelings or were in the least bit abused. Now, she did have a weird, like, bedtime, but you can look at these things and you don't have to be judgmental. And a lot of women nowadays, more so, can relate to the side of Nicole Kessinger and his mother, where you want to find faults in other women, because we have grown in the society that we have of women where they look at women as competition and not supportive, and they look for people to fail and all of that. And I think that is awful. We as women, we are in the age of women empowerment, feminism. We are in this. And people are still caught up on trying to be better than the next woman. It's not about it. We can all be great together. We can all do something. Change the shit that's been wrong. Really take our power. But the more and more women are trying to take from other women instead of uplifting them, the men still control it. And that's how they're gonna control us. We can't do anything. We'll never have a woman president until we stand up and stop being damn competitors and start being friends and loved ones and have compassion and humility and humanity. Sorry, I really feel passionate about that. I feel compassion for Nicole. Not for what she did. What she did has no excuse. Because that was the most evil. The most. Because she knew what she was doing. Even if she was attempting to break up the family, she knew what she was doing and what pain she was causing. And she knew it well. And she actively set out to do that. And that makes her the most evil. Not the most, not her specifically, but doing the most evil. I don't believe that anybody is, everybody can be just rolled up as evil. We are complex beings, and even the most evilest of acts, they have a way of rationalizing it to themselves. She rationalizing it to herself as she was saving them and from their mother, who is awful, because she looked at her this way and they were going to have this pain, and she didn't want them to grow up and go through what her and her sister did. Bella was a reflection of her, Cece a reflection of her sister, Chris Watts a reflection of her father, and him taking the charge was her father protecting her like he should have. This is all about a self-serving agenda that she had. I hate that she went through some stuff that made her feel hopeless, but she chose wrong, and she went wrong, and she knew she was doing wrong. She just knew it. That's the thing, she was conscious of everything. She did everything purposefully, and that is unforgivable. His family, I'm sure she's manipulated them as well. Chris had already done some of that, and they're going to think how they'll think of Shanann. But one thing that I do know is that at the end of the day, they're going to see who the real evil one is. And if Nicole Kessinger and his family do have anything to do with each other currently, or are in each other's lives, it won't take long, because that is the life that she lives. She cannot get along with females. She cannot not be around chaos. Chaos is what she thrives in. Like chaos junkie, That's what she is. She's a chaos junkie. She could not live in she would hate a life where everything went smooth sailing. Like, she likes affairs, complications, all that. This video is really long. I was going to do the cards that I have here, but I'll probably do them on another video, just so this video isn't so long, because I kind of talked a lot. I just think that more so than anything, her birth chart says probably everything we need to know about why and the why. The motive, who's the mastermind, who was a manipulator, and none of that is to say that Chris Watts is not guilty. He had a choice, and he chose wrong, and he will have to face his consequences every day. He is not a very emotional being, so he might not even feel anything for it. So he might have needed this, closed off from society thing, because he probably would have killed anyway. I agree with that. But I also agree that this would have happened for Nicole Kessinger as well. Given another person, she was looking for the right person to do this. This was her plan from the jump. I believe that. In my honest opinion, from what I see in the psychology of her, that is what happened. Whether he had a hand in manipulating too, probably, probably. But it's really sad to me. But if she was in the military, in the psychology side of it, then she should probably be in a lot of trouble, because I think that she used some of the mind control techniques that they have and they implement over there for interrogation tactics and stuff like that, on us even. Um, I think that she might have done that. It's possible that if Jim was involved, which um I get the idea. I just want to put this out there. I kind of get the idea that she was sleeping with two coworkers. Maybe allegedly for entertainment purposes only. This is only my opinion. I think that it's possible that it was that Anthony Brown maybe guy or another one. I think well she might have been doing a few. She might have been sleeping with a few of the guys, but she created conflict because that's what she wanted them to fight over her too. But so that she could be the victim and convince the other one to help her in her ultimate plan, which was taking out Chris Watts' family, taking herself, Bella, taking her sister, Cece, and taking her mother, um, her mother, Shanann. I think she was genuinely surprised when it didn't heal her. I think that she was genuinely surprised that it didn't work and the spells that she had casted backfired on her and that law of 3 times 3. So it hasn't been like smooth sailing for her. And I'm pretty sure, Sherilyn Cadle is probably her stepmother or some relation to her. And, you know, they must have had some issues come about because there was no Nicole Kessinger. Um, there was no Nicole Kessinger chapter, and then all of a sudden, in her copywritten book, she says afterwards that there is a Nicole Kessinger chapter where she implicates, for the most part, that Nicole Kessinger is evil, into evil things, and that she might have been the puppet master. She doesn't say it in so many words, but she implies it a lot. And I think that it's possible they had some kind of issue before that. And that was like revenge from Sherilyn Cadle. While that might be true information, I you know, I don't tattle on people. I'm not the type of person, if I have knowledge of someone, when I'm fighting with them and I get mad at them, I don't use that information against them to other people. I don't do things like that. I would not be her friend if she came to me and told me she murdered, what role she played in a murder. I I would tell her straightforward, I'm sorry, but I have to, inform the law of what you're telling me if you continue to tell me this, and then still, I'm still going to tell them, but I would make her stop talking to me about it because I am not going to do something malicious and without someone knowing, or I'm not going to find something out and wait until I'm mad at someone and then implement it. That is evil. And ladies, that ain't the way to be. We need to get right. Shape the hell up, ladies. We have got to shape the hell up. Be there for one another for real. No bullshit. For real. There's enough penis to go around. There's enough jobs to go around. Y'all gonna be fine if you fully support another woman with no hidden agenda at all. Come on. Y'all want change? Do you want betterment for women? You want women to have say over themselves, their body, to be able to be president one day? You want all of these things? Do your part and be an ally instead of trying to be an enemy. you know, an enemy of an enemy is my friend type thing. Ain't nothing that brings two women closer together than a woman that they hate. We know this. We know this. We know this. I've been guilty of it too. I've been guilty of a lot of things. My mother's death in May of last year now. She passed away the day after my birthday. I was the one to find her. I've struggled with this. I was very close to my mother. It was very hard. It's been a hard year. And in this year, I've learned so much. And I have grown and found parts of myself that I didn't know that I had in me, and just transformed. And I just want to help other people transform too and be at a full inner calm and peace. We all deserve happiness. We're only here for a short time. So thanks guys for listening. I will post the reading that I did probably in about an hour or two, because I need to calm down. So sorry I had to ramble, guys, but thank you.